If you've been feeling unproductive or under pressure to achieve something, this video is for you and for anyone who feels lost and unsure about what to do next. You see your friends landing good jobs, moving up in their careers, or starting businesses. Then you scroll through social media and you feel like you're not doing enough, like you're falling behind. During these times, we can feel tempted to either try to do many things or become discouraged. However, rather than trying to do many things to accomplish something, what is the one thing God has called you to do? We're halfway in 2025 and you still feel lost. This video is for you. I want to share my testimony on how God called me to do the one thing, to preach the gospel, and how I started this channel. So, to give context, I have been making short form content since 2020. Though I love teaching, I felt like there was something missing and God was calling me to do something else. That all changed at the end of 2023. After coming back from Uganda missions, I remember coming back and attending an evening worship service in South Korea. The message was about being witnesses of Jesus. So after receiving that message in my spirit, we had a time of responding to that message in prayer. And all of a sudden, I had a newfound desire to spread the gospel in Hongdae, in the streets of Seoul. And I was taken aback because I believe that this was not from me. I don't have the courage nor the boldness to do that. For 10 years, God was training me to do relational evangelism with students, one-to-one. But street preaching was something I have never done. So I wrestled with this for 1 month in prayer. And on a side note, my wife and I were already planning to head to the US by this time. And so we had only 2 months left in South Korea. Though there were many things we could have done in the last remaining months, we decided to obey what God has put in my heart. And I really thank Jane for her support and for following my lead during this time. And after a while, I said, God, I don't think this is from me. This is clearly from you. And I believe that you put this in my heart, so I'm going to obey you. I asked God where I should share his word. And I believe that God was reminding me of the front gate of GenZ University. So I prayed and I went out. And at first I was nervous. I didn't know what to say exactly. Though I spoke Korean, I didn't think that my Korean was sufficient to share the word. And I just stood there in silence, just praying for boldness. I was quite nervous and fearful. And, God, what do I say? I don't know exactly what my first words should be. And after standing there for several minutes, I just said what came to my mind, and it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted. However, right when I spoke out, God was giving me boldness. And I kept speaking out God's truth, and the fear went away. And after sharing the gospel with Korean college students, I asked God if I should upload this on the new Christian channel I made. And I felt that God was giving me the green light. And so I did. I uploaded the first video. All I desired was to obey God. And in that process, if one person is encouraged and drawn closer to him, whether in the street preaching or online, I would be very thankful and I would give glory to him. So I uploaded and I continued to preach the gospel. And within a month, my social media pages blew up. I had about 22,000 followers on TikTok and about 50,000 followers on Instagram. So this is a very brief testimony of how obedience to the one thing God called me to do. And if I didn't obey that one God-given desire, I wouldn't be here sharing this testimony with you guys. And this channel wouldn't exist. So what is the one thing God has asked you to do this week or this year? I challenge you guys to start with that and step out in obedience against fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. I believe God will use your one step of obedience in an amazing way. And I just can't wait to hear the testimonies and how God uses that one obedience, that one step of obedience that you guys take. So I'm in that process as well. I'm taking that step of obedience. It's not easy, but I believe that God is going to use that one obedience